What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we have 6 Gemini features you should be using right now. Over 95% of the people watching these reaction videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are liking the AI reaction videos, working on our businesses, working on our AI automation processes, please throw a subscribe, throw a like, throw a comment on the video. Lets me know you guys are liking the videos. Also lets me know that you guys want more videos. So let's jump right into it.
I don't know about you, but I've been using Gemini pretty much every single day for about a year and a half now, ever since it first launched on mobile. And as someone that lives and breathes this kind of stuff, I have to say Google is constantly improving it relentlessly, adding a ton of new, genuinely useful features at least on a monthly basis. It's really easy to miss some of these updates with so much.
Yeah, this is the type of stuff that I really love about AI is you could take these images that you have in on your camera roll with your dog, right? And it's gonna do some animations to it. It's gonna make it into a Pixar theme. And I don't use AI for this way, but I think normal people that are just trying to get involved in AI, this is the best way to actually learn, right? Start prompting it, start telling it to do different things to images, and then you're going to learn and you're going to understand what it actually can do. And that's when the door slings wide open and you guys, you're going to love AI.
Tech news going around, but some of them are true game changers for your workflow. So today, I want to show you 6 super useful Gemini features that, if you're not already using them, you absolutely should be. They really show the direction Google is heading, turning Gemini from a simple chatbot into a powerful, integrated assistant, and trust me, so much has changed, so let's take a quick look. First up is something that's both fun and a little bit bittersweet at the same time. Gemini recently got the ability to identify songs using Google's classic song search capability. This is fun because it's a fantastic Google feature that should have been in Gemini from the very start, if we're being honest, but it's also a bit bittersweet because Google is likely porting this over as part of the broader Google Assistant depreciation we're expecting later in 2025. Okay. Regardless, I am really glad it's in the Gemini app now because it works exactly like you'd expect.
Wait, so question regarding the Google Gemini. So it looked like he was using a Google Pixel, and it looks like this might be a Google Pixel here. I use an iPhone. I've obviously used the Gemini app. I also use it on my computers, multiple computers I use Gemini on, just on the web browser. What does Google Gemini look like on a Google Pixel? I've never used it on Android. AI came out maybe, I don't know, started coming out three years ago, and I've had an iPhone for the past 20 years. So if you guys use Google Gemini on a Google Pixel, I wonder what kind of extra features you're getting, because this looks like a Siri type thing where you could just like click the side button and then Gemini pops up and then you could talk to it, you could show it live video, right here, share screen with live. So super interesting Google Gemini on a Google phone. That's got to be really cool.
You can access it by asking Gemini in a few different ways, like saying, what's this song, or can you identify this song?
Also, sorry, I hate to keep pausing, but my favorite feature, simple, most underrated feature, is the text-to-speak with Google Gemini. Just talk to it. You could get a way longer prompt. You could actually get your ideas out there instead of typing and making mistakes, and it takes a lot longer to type than it does to talk. Just talk to the AI. Just prompt it using your voice. Way simpler. You could get way in depth of a prompt.
Song, where Gemini will open that familiar full-screen song search interface with the little pulsating sphere animation that you'll recognize if you've used this feature in the past. For me, the convenience factor alone is huge, as I don't need a separate third-party app installed, and at least for Gemini on Android, I can activate it with the press of the power button. A good addition, as Google is leveraging its own powerful existing tech to make Gemini better, and it's also a nice quality of life improvement. This next one is very...
I mean, we've had that technology for a couple of years now. Even Snapchat has it. I believe it was called, what was the original one? Shazam. If you guys remember Shazam. We've had that technology for a while. It's probably really good with Google's Gemini's AI and how smart it is, but I mean, we've had that.
new, and I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it surprisingly, which is the scheduled actions feature within Gemini. This one is pretty sick actually, because you can set it to run a prompt at a specific time on a certain date or after an event. You can set this all up using conversational language. For example, you can go into Gemini and say, give me a daily summary of my calendar every morning at 8 a.m. or read me my unread emails at 10 a.m. tomorrow. When the time comes, Gemini sends you a notification for that scheduled action, and tapping that notification opens the chat to show you the results. You can manage all of these in a scheduled actions tab on your account page where you can see everything you have in effect and have the ability to pause or delete.
All right, this one's actually really cool. This is the whole point of AI automation and AI agents, and this is a very simple way to do it. I personally use the Google ecosystem. I use Gmail, I use Drive, I use Google Sheets, Google Docs. So I use all this type of stuff now integrated with Google Gemini. So being able to just prompt the AI to send me my unread emails and summarize them every morning when I wake up, it's going to save me so much time that I don't have to read just going through my emails every morning, right? A lot of it's spam, a lot of it I don't even need to read. So if the AI could filter some of that stuff out for me, that's super helpful. With that, there's so many other things that this is probably able to do on a scheduled action. You could probably summarize calendars or give you ideas every morning or give you ideas every night of different things. This is where the real power is starting to come in with AI.
Them as you see fit. It's incredibly useful if you want to automate a routine task or have Gemini proactively help you with something at a specific time, which significantly reduces your mental workload. More importantly,
Absolutely.
The deep integration with Google services makes it incredibly personal and powerful, since Gemini can tap into your most used Google apps and pull data from them to present you once you have one of these scheduled actions put
There you go. Right there. It's to show all the Google apps that are integrated, and you could summarize different things
into place. Moving on, the next Gemini feature is pretty advanced and probably one of the coolest uses for AI I've seen in quite some time, which is Gemini Live Video. This is where you can literally point your camera at anything and start asking questions in a very conversational format. I use this all the time whenever I'm curious about something, which is quite often. If I'm walking my dog and I pass a building, see an interesting object or food item, or I'm in an area that I have a question about, I just fire up Gemini Live and immediately start asking questions. It's actually become a habit at this point because it's so good at having these environmental interaction conversations. You can ask deeper questions and get real insight on objects, areas, and locations rather than just doing a generic Google search yourself. For example, I was walking my dog in a newish neighborhood and I saw the neighborhood rec center, which had no obvious signage. I pointed my camera at the building and Gemini told me what it was, its working hours, and what services they offer. Basically, a full high-level overview just from pointing my camera and asking. If you have a curious mind, you absolutely need to try this out, and the performance is really good, by the way. Everything from pulling up the camera to how quickly I receive the responses is seamless in day-to-day use. Personally, I can't wait to see how this develops over time. To me, this is the perfect foundation for whenever Google's AR glasses come along, because this technology will fit in perfectly in that kind of environment. Here's a really
So that that feature I have been using as well. I've been using it more in terms of, I actually showed it this room because I want to upgrade this room and I want to make it good for YouTube and good for podcasting and content. So I asked it to design the room for me. I showed it on the live on my phone, showed it the room, and then it spit back. I asked it to spit me back an image, and it created an image for me of how it would design the room. It had the desk where I had the desk, but then it had some lights in the back, and it had a couch over on this side, and different little things, lamps and stuff like that. But it gave me an idea of how to organize the room, and that's how I used it. You could probably use it throughout the rest of your house, but also like he's talking about in the streets. Maybe you're going on a trip to Europe, right? You've never been to Rome and you want to know about the ancient Roman artifacts or the ancient Roman buildings. You can just whip your phone out, talk to Gemini, and it's going to explain it all to you. A personal tour guide.
fun Gemini feature that I didn't know about until recently. Within the past few months, Gemini added an update that enables native image editing where you can modify images you upload directly to the app. This is really cool because with a conversational text prompt, you can make all sorts of edit to your personal photos in a multi-step process. You can change the background, alter the art style, replace objects, or add new elements. So, for example, I uploaded a photo of my dog and I asked Gemini to add a party hat, then I asked it to make the grass red, then I told it to add an ice cream truck, and finally I asked it to turn the whole thing into an anime art style. In each step, Gemini preserved the context of the previous image and perfectly integrated the new prompts to create a brand new image.
Nice.
It's great actually because it gives you a surprising amount of creative control over how you edit your images, and even more important, it makes powerful AI-driven image generation accessible to everyday users. For Android users, this is a relatively new addition that I've been waiting quite some time for, which is the Gemini home screen widget. It's pretty great actually because it's highly resizable, ranging from a small 1x1 icon up to a 5x3 or even a tall 1x3 vertical layout if you.
This is where iPhone is behind here because obviously we're all using Google Gemini. It's a great product to have, but the Google Pixel phone is going to take things to a whole new level. Having a widget there. Look how I've never seen a widget so customizable too. It looks like you can make it any size you want.
You need it. I love having this because it's simply faster to access Gemini that way, depending on where I'm at. It also has a nice Material You theme to it, so it fits your home screen aesthetic perfectly, especially on Pixel devices, and even more so if you're using the new Material 3 Expressive update. Yeah, functionality-wise, the widget mainly serves as a way to get one-click access to some of the most important Gemini functions. You can open the camera to add an image to your prompt, add a file like a PDF, or jump right into Gemini Live for a more conversational interaction. All great features to have quick access to, and overall, it just makes Gemini faster and a bit more intuitive.
Yeah.
Last but not least, the final Gemini feature that I want to put on your radar that you 100% should be using is the Google Photos integration. This is awesome because through the Gemini app, you can find backed up images and videos based on all sorts of criteria like face groups, locations, dates, and even descriptions of what's in the actual photo, all within your current conversation. You can say things like find photos of my dog, show me photos from last summer, or show me recent selfies, for example. It works a lot.
Oh, wow.
Like the Ask Photos functionality within the Google app itself, so you can get really conversational and ask truly deep questions like, what did I eat at a specific restaurant last week? Or what were some major things I saw on my last vacation? Or even show me my latest receipts or my license plate again.
That's super cool. That's like never losing a memory. If you take a lot of pictures when you go on trips and you upload it to Google Photo, your AI Gemini is going to be able to find what you ate when you're on that trip, and you can just ask it questions. That's super cool. And I mean, sometimes, my camera roll probably has over 5,000 photos and videos of, even these videos go on my camera roll. So being able to find something that you're looking for will be super helpful.
As a few examples. You can get really in-depth with this, and I think it's insanely useful for effortlessly retrieving photos with natural language. It's great if you want to relive some memories without having to dig too deep, and simply having this level of integration with the Google ecosystem is incredibly valuable for someone like me that has 20,000 photos stored in Google Photos. And that, my friends, are 6 super useful Gemini features that if you're not already using them, you absolutely should be. They save a lot of time and unlock some truly powerful capabilities that are just sitting there waiting for you to try them. So please take a look if you're not using them already. With that said, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.
All right, guys, that was a good video there. A couple of those features I already knew about, but a couple of them were new to me. The Google Photos were new to me. Not the Google Pixel aspect of it, but being able to have that widget on a Google Pixel. We don't have that on iPhone yet. I'm sure that's coming, but actually, maybe they do already have that. I'll have to look into that one. But some of the other things, photo imaging, we already kind of know about that stuff. So super interesting video, guys. Like I said in the beginning, over 95% of the people watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know you guys are liking the videos, and we'll be back tomorrow with another one.